chosen on her very first night, all the beautiful clothes would go with her. It was a game that someone won every year or so. When this happened, word quickly leaked back to the younger girls who had not yet seen the front of the house, and they would all lament the necklaces and headdresses and shoes that would never be seen again, most of them purchased with the tips they earned with their charms.
"If I lose my best stockings, I can always buy more. It's too much fun to dress you up like a princess," said Pia, one of the vixen girls, "and it helps with the nerves."
"Hopefully," Velsa said. Her voice was a little shaky. She was standing in her chemise in front of the mirror, nearly as naked as she'd ever been, unused to being the center of attention.
"First, my dragon stockings," Pia exclaimed, waving her hand to flirtatious little Bari, who presented the neatly folded stockings like a crown. Velsa remembered Pia from their school days, before Pia came of age and went into the house a few months ago. She seemed more jovial than Velsa remembered, as if she actually preferred male attention to education. Velsa pulled each silk stocking onto her legs slowly, admiring the way the design unfolded. The tails of the dragons started at her feet, the sinuous golden bodies running all the way up above her knees. A tiny button had been sewn onto the back of Velsa's legs to help keep the stockings up, and over these, Pia tied yellow satin ribbons snug around Velsa's thighs. Her bows were so perfect that Velsa would have to ask her how to do them later. "Lift your arms,"
Pia said. "You don't have to dress me."
"We must dress you, just for today, Princess Velsa. No, Queen Velsa. Why settle?"
Pia slid an underrobe over her shoulders. This was a simple garment, but over it came a beautiful dark red sash of fabric woven and dyed in Halnari, where some of the finest textiles were made, especially sashes, which the Halnari women also favored. Even as Pia was tying the sash at the back of Velsa's narrow waist, Amlesa was stuffing her feet into heeled shoes made of red brocade. Is there anything I should know?" Velsa asked, fighting off another wave of panic. "When the men come?"
"Not really,"
Bari said.
"Just bow and look shy and ask them a few questions about their lives, and then look impressed. The men will love you." "Don't smell the men," Pia said breezily.
The other girls laughed, but Velsa's innards shifted with fear. Are flesh and blood men really that bad?
"Sometimes," Pia said. "Depends on where they're from. The city merchants are the worst. Like, they have no time to bathe, and living on top of one another has dulled their sense of smell."
"The girls we really should be asking for advice are the ones who have already left," Amlesa said with a wistful air. When girls were chosen, occasionally they still wrote letters back to the house, but usually they were never heard from again. Dalarsha told them that men didn't like to consider the previous lives of the girls they purchased. They wanted to believe they were buying a newly minted person who had been created just for them. Not so much a frightened and inexperienced girl as a toy fresh out of the box, created to be played with. Not that Velsa's teachers worded it like that exactly, but she understood the unspoken truth. It didn't seem fair or reasonable to Velsa that she should pretend the last 18 years of her life had never existed. Even Fanarlem girls had to grow up on the inside, no matter how their bodies looked on the outside. Still, Velsa knew she was fortunate to have been created for the House of Perfumed Ribbons. It was renowned across the region as the most reputable place to purchase a Fanarlem concubine, because the girls were well cared for and allowed to come of age in a natural way. In fact, the older girls said some men didn't like to buy from their house because the girls seemed a little too real. The men almost felt like they were buying flesh and blood girls, and that was entirely illegal and immoral. But what Fanarlem girl didn't want to be seen as a flesh and blood girl?